Alright. Let's do some notes. Here we go. Oh, I need to take a roll. Oh my goodness gracious, I'm sorry.
So she was telling me that she wants to do wing crew next year, and I was like, bro, if we do it together, like, these freshmen will have a blast.
Got him.
We'll have a blast.
She's just smiling now.
Me and Siri together?
The only thing is I know you guys will follow my rules.
Yes, of
Otherwise,
course.
I will
Fire you.
Yeah.
kick you out.
He's like, I'll just say skating. He posted that, and then it came out my feed out of nowhere. Yikes.
Alright, parallel lines and transversals.
It's the 23rd yet?
Yeah. The month is almost over.
It's my brother's birthday, and I saw him in the morning, so.
5 more days.
What does the second word say?
Cadence.
Right.
Transversal. 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 I tagged with you on my card this month. $390.
Oh man, and then other things start jumping in. Rent. Sex fees.
My mortgage.
Oh yeah. Right.
Last money. You make it, you spend it, it's gone.
No. I found out, but like,
No, you want to come first.
okay, so, like, how do you buy a house, how do your taxes, and like, credit cards, debit cards, and bank accounts, and like, buy a car.
Debit card is just live money. It's coming straight out of your account.
To buy a house, you need
To buy a house, you need good credit, you need 10% down
Yeah,
payment.
I'm gonna call you later. We'll talk about
It's
it.
simple, and you can't spend more than you make.
I with my parents
You
go
have
to
to
the
have like
taxes.
45%. No, is it more than 45% of what you
And
make?
then taxes, I go to the tax guy and do it in taxes. I never do my taxes.
I went to my parents' wedding and I found out they pay him for having children.
Yeah.
I was like, so
Until you make a certain amount, and then I'll pay you.
my dad was like, that's why I don't want you to get a job before you're 18. I was like, what are you talking about?
Because you're making this money.
Yeah. I was like,
I'm gonna be honest with you, when you first get your first job, whether you're 18 like I was, or you're in high school, you should always save at least, like, I'm just talking small, like, save a little bit. So let's just pretend, because you don't work very much in the very beginning. So if your paycheck's like $125.32, save the $25.32. Then you have the $100. Just put it away where you don't touch it. If your paycheck's like $189.32, save the $89.32 and you still have $100. You understand? If you can always save that kind of money, you will build up your account. So the whole point is you always need a savings account because some things happen. Like my sister got in a car accident and has to pay $500 deductible for her insurance to fix her car. Like, you see, like you can't just, you don't have any money in a savings account, you're never going to be able to afford that. So you have to save money. So if you do like little bits like that throughout time, your bank account will go up. That's how I went to Europe when I was 20 years old, by saving the money through 2 years of working with it. That was not for much. Yeah. So you need to save. So you need to do that. And then, obviously when I was going to buy a house, I saved more money, but I paid off my car faster, so I could save that money to my house. You're a mess. She's got like crumbs on her face and like all over her shirt. And she's like this. But if you can do that, then you'll be okay. And yes, they'll get more expensive as you get older, and the more money you make. And children are expensive, which is why you don't have them until you have a kid. If you have one. If you have one.
Yeah.
That's a very stressful
Thank you.
one.
No problem.
10. Please don't.
I would
My
adopt.
experience.
Did you just tell me that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna get
What did you say?
He said, what if you get pregnant? Because you're like,
Well,
I'm gonna punch you.
let's not.
Big.
But really, you shouldn't have kids until you have a career because then it's
I don't even like kids.
Oh,
I
I
can't
like
deal with
kids
them.
actually. I just don't want to have
Adoption?
yes, adoption dog.
Yes, Chloe. No, I want to have two.
Yeah, I'm too young to have a dog like that.
What's your reason?
She give that advice to a lot of people. She give that advice to the whole school.
Yeah?
She give that advice to me.
Plus, you shouldn't have kids until like after 25.
Funny.
Doesn't it get boring when like get birth protection like that? Getting too young. You know, this one
It's not when you're old.
This one you're older. It's fine.
The reason why I say that is because you should be able to enjoy being 21 and 22 without children. And then you're like, okay, I did that, I'm good. Like, I'm an adult, if it's an adult, no. More, I couldn't have 2 days before she's 21.
She's literally looking at the child, right?
Does she still live with Kai? I don't know.
Does she have a high school diploma?
Nope.
Did the son say she wants that?
Does she have a high school diploma?
High school, come on.
Why are you telling me that?
You think you're gonna go to college and you have to go to the diploma?
She hits you with the fit.
Alright, let's do this, ready? I am going to draw. Now parallel lines means they what? Two lines that never cross, never touch. They have the same what?
What?
Starts with an S. Starts with an S.
Oh man.
Slow. Sing slow.
I honestly just did this in like 4 years.
Okay, you'll learn it, fine, and you'll be fine, I promise.
Oh, I have a lip holder.
Okay. Part of the problem is you guys see the tutorials and then you're lost because you don't really know what's going on. All I know is people who watch the classes and be like, what happened? Alright, so we have two little arrows. Those little arrows mean parallel. It means we have parallel lines. I'm drawing them very horizontal so I can just draw two straight parallel lines. They're not going to be straight like that. They'll be slanted or whatever. Obviously the book has got nicer worksheets can. But for me, I'm just going to draw them nice and horizontal so we know that they're going to be parallel right now. Alright? These two little arrows mean parallel. Now if I had another set of parallel lines, they would have two little arrows right here. Do you understand? So for every set of parallel lines, I add another little arrow. So if I had three sets of parallel lines, they would have three little arrows to show that those two lines are parallel to each other. Okay?
Gotcha.
Nicely. You good? Do you leave? Do we leave?
Slump is slump time.
Are you good? You wanna go take a walk? Oh. Alright, so here we go. Now, we're gonna draw in some numbers. This T represents transversal. Transversal is just a line that intersects other lines. They always say cut by a transversal, which just means it's cutting the line. It always looks like it's in the middle, and that's just because lines don't ever stop, right? So if we're giving you a snapshot, it looks like it's going to be in the middle of that spot. But it's not necessarily in the middle. You good? Okay, we're going to put some numbers in here. We have number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, how many remember this lovely paper from IM1?
No.
Don't like that.
You didn't use this paper?
Don't even.
I did. I think I did.
That's what it's called.
Oh my god, I would use that for my face. Don't you use that for like your oily face?
Oil pad.
We did have a
Start with a P.
Watch, it's gonna take all
I would just say
That was a full-on.
Oh, why should we make a
It's like waxing, but it's not. It's in the square. You find it when you buy frozen patties. Oh, patty paper.
They don't use that.
Oh, it's not to use that for my face too though?
Mirroring.
Yeah. See, like
I'm
my
pretty sure if I
public
like
restroom, they have that for the toilet seat, and I just use it for my face.
Son just tries it out. He got it from me.
No.
I'm oily, you can try it on me.
Here we go. Pay attention. Here we go. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to explain what is going on. I want you to watch what's happening. Ready? I'm going to trace just this first piece, and you're just watching. So obviously you don't have this. Pretend like it's right now. Okay, we're good? Now, you did learn something in IM1, and Jasmine was talking about it. Jasmine, what do we do in IM1? Translation, rotations, and
What? Oh, reflection.
reflections. Good.
Oh,
Reflections. Brian, IM1. Not like 2 weeks ago. Okay. Boomer. Alright, so here we go. We have angles 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we talked about translations, rotations, and reflections in IM1, correct? So, let's pay attention really quick. Here we go. If I take this and I use one of those ones, what's the one that talks about sliding? Or moving?
Translation.
Translation. So watch what happens when I do this. If I take this and I just slide it. Look at it. What happens? What do you know about?
Translated down.
So what do you know about 1 and 5? They're the
1 and
same.
2.
And 2 and 6? And 3 and 7? And 4 and 8? Yes? Okay. So these 4 are exactly the same as these 4, correct? Okay. Now watch. There's another one. What was the other one you talked about? Rotation. Let's talk about rotation. So rotation is to turn it 90 degrees at all times, right? That's 90 degrees. That doesn't really work. So let's turn it another 90 degrees. What do you notice now? It works. So what do I know about this one and the 4? They're the same. They're the same. What do I know about 3 and 2? They're the same. So if I take that and I slide it down, what do I know about those ones? 5 and 8 are going to be the same, and 6 and 7 are going to be what? The same. You understand? So if I go back to here, these are the same as this, and they're the same when I turn. Make sense? So, two highlighters. If I highlight this, And I highlight.
I cannot take
I can, it's for an emergency.
So if I'm looking here, I know 1 and 2 are both different colors, yes? And if I rotated them 180 degrees,
Oh my god.
sorry, I now know that 1 and what are going to be the same color? 1 and 4 are going to be the same color. And I know 2 and 3 are going to be the same color. Yes? Okay. Now, let's go back to here. So I know 1, 2, 3, and 4 are just really 2 colors, correct? And when I slide down, I also know that 1 and what? 1 and 5 are both going to be what? The same. What about 4 and 8? They're the same. What do you know about 6 and 7? They're the same. So in the grand scheme of things, even though there's 8 different numbers here, 8 different angles, how many values do you really have? 2. I have the pink value and the green value, correct? I don't have any other values, I just have those 2. They just repeat along the line. Make sense? Really good? So once I find 1, can I find them all? Yeah. Alright? So now we need to talk about what we just did. So when I took this and I did this, 1 and 5 have a special relationship, and so does 2 and 6. So does 3 and 7, and so does 4 and 8. Those are called corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. Corresponding angles mean all they do is they have the same spot or the same position as before. Do you understand? These are exactly in the same position as these ones down here, right? And if I had another pair over here, like they would kind of be the same, right? They would still correspond because they're in the same position. I didn't turn it, I didn't flip it, I didn't do anything crazy. All I did was slide it down. So 1 and what? Yeah. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 5. I can say they're congruent because they're the same what? They're in the same spot and they're also the same color, right? I just proved that they're exactly the same by when I slide it down and translate or by when I rotate. So what else is in the same spot? Angle 2 and angle 6. Angle 3 and angle 7. Angle 4 and angle 8. And I use the congruent sign, which means they are equal. They're congruent. Now, the reason you use congruent when you're talking about angles like this is because their names are congruent. Okay? Think of it more in the name. If I'm talking about numbers, I don't use the congruent sign, I use the what sign? I use the equal sign. Okay? Congruent and equal mean the same thing, but you use the symbols differently. Okay? You understand? Okay. Now, let's talk about another one. Alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles. Alright. So, back up here. I'm using the paper because I'm going to write on top of it, okay? What does it mean to be interior? Inside. Inside means inside the parallel line. So this is my interior. You understand? Inside, interior means inside the parallel line. Got it? And it depends which way I'm looking at it. If I was looking at it the other way, it'd still be these numbers, just my picture's different, right? So still inside, but we're looking inside the parallel lines. Alternate means like opposite. Because alternate means to switch, right? So alternate, I'm switching the transversal. I'm switching across. Does anyone need one of these papers? This one good. My eyes are shut.
That's what I know,
Alternate,
man.
you're being switching from 5 to 4 and 3 to 6?
Yeah. They're not switching colors.
Not colors, but like
They're showing that they're that's what they're labeled, that's their name. Alternate interior means they're on opposite sides of the inside of the parallel lines. They're still the same, so they're congruent. Because they're the same color, right? But. So it means inside the parallel lines, but opposite from each other, or across. What angles did we just say? Angle what? Angle 3 is congruent to angle 6. And they're congruent because it's the same color, correct? And what else? Angle 4 is congruent to angle 5. That's it. Those are the only ones that are inside the two parallel lines and that are congruent. Alright, we good? So far? Okay, so we have alternate interior. Guess what we have now? Yeah, we do. Look at that. Fancy, neat men. Alternate exterior. Alternate exterior. So, let me go back to my little paper. Ready? Let me do my paper again. This was my interior, correct? I don't care about the interior, right? I'm talking about what? Exterior. Well, this is the interior. Where is the exterior located? Outside of the what? Of the parallel line. So I'm looking up here and down here. These are my exterior. Correct? The two pieces on the outside, exterior is outside. When we talk about painting the exterior of the house, we're not talking about inside the house, we're talking about what? The outside of the house, which I need to do.
Throwing like things you have to do with the math.
There, I'm gonna do things, and then it's money, and then it's math again. And then it's back to saving money. And then it's back to spending money. And then it's back to being an adult. High school's so much easier. Alright. I promise you it is. You may not think so. But then all of a sudden you're an adult and you're like, ah, man, she was right. It doesn't matter if you know. Alright, so exterior. So we're looking on the outside. And we're talking alternate again. So what do you think is the alternate? What numbers am I looking at? 1 and 8. I'm still going to go across. I'm still going to go alternate of the transversal. Okay? So we're going to look at angles what? Angle 2 is congruent to angle 7. And? Angle 8. So what do we say the definition of alternate is? Outside angles outside angles on parallel line, and what? You're still across, okay? Make sense? I'm gonna go back to the top. Alright. Now, talking about something else. When you learned this in IM1, I don't know if you learned the names, and you should have. I'm pretty sure I taught it. But let's pretend, even if you didn't. Really quick, let's talk about this. You learned about angles in IM1, right? You learned about different angles. You learned obtuse, acute, yes? Remember these things? Okay? Now, when I'm looking at this, if I cover it all up, and I just look at that line, what do you know about angle 1 and angle 2?
One is obtuse, the second one's acute.
There's one acute and one obtuse, but let's pretend this line's not here. I'm just looking at it straight across. What do you know about that line? It's a line. It is equal 180. It's called the straight what? The straight angle, which means it's equal to 180. But because there's two angles, they form what's called a linear pair. Okay? A linear pair. Because a linear pair, what does linear say?
Straight.
That's a line, and pair means there's two. So a linear pair means that I add up to a line, and I know a line adds up to what? 180. You understand? I'll write that in a second. So that's 180. What do you know about 1 and 3? They also form a what? A linear pair. And those also add up to what? 180. Well, what about 3 and 4? Also 180, because that's also a linear pair. And anything that was then 2 and 4. You understand? So these two add up to 180, and these two, and these two, and these two. Yes? You remember that? You remember straight angle? Okay, you had acute, right, obtuse, straight. Remember this coming back to you? Hopefully. A little bit. Okay. So we're going to talk about a linear pair just over to the side. It's two angles on a line that form a straight angle, which add up to how much? 180 degrees. Now there's another one we talked about in IM1, pretty sure. And draw little pictures of it. What do you know about these two angles? They're the same. Alright, what is it called? This is a V. What was this? You did say vertical. Vertical's correct. Vertical what? Vertical angles. 1 and 2 are congruent because they're vertical angles. They're across from each other. I should look at it when I'm trying to do this. Across from each other, 1 and 2. So what do you know about these two? They're also the same. So what do you know about 1 and 4? They're vertical angles. Well, what do you know about 2 and 3? They're also vertical angles. Should I write that down? No, okay. Now this is just stuff you should know, but we're going to write it down for something. And I can just put one example, angle 1 and angle 4, right? I don't need to write them all. That's just one example. Over here I can say angle 1 and angle 2. Just so we know that's what we're talking about. Could I apply it to anything else? Yeah. Is there more than one vertical angle pair? Yeah, there's a lot. Is 6 a vertical angle with something? What is it? Okay. You understand? I'm not going to write them all out. I could, but this is just words we should know from IM1. And if we don't, we're just writing them down. Good? Okay.
Angle 1.
Angle 1 and angle 4. angle 2 and angle 3? Oh, that's for linear pair. Because linear pair is 1 and 2, right? Or 1 and 3? Or 3 and 4? Or 2 and 4? Good? I'm going to go back to the bottom. I'm going to write another word. The last one. We have corresponding, we have alternate interior, alternate exterior. We have consecutive interior. Consecutive interior. Consecutive interior. Ready? Okay. Once again, back to my picture. Interior means what? Inside. Alternate opposite sides of transversal. Consecutive means what? The same side. So we're looking at the same side of the transversal. So that means angle 3 and angle 5. Now let's pay attention. Angle 3 and angle 5 are not the same color. Right?
Yes.
They're both different colors, and so is angle 4 and angle 6. But that's what I'm talking about. But what do I know about the two colors? They add up to how much? 180. Because back up here, I knew that 1 and 2, pink and green, add up to 180. Right? And I knew this pink and green add up to 180. So if I'm talking consecutive interior, I'm talking about 3 and 5, but guess what? That's still pink and green, and guess what they're going to add up to? 180. You understand? Okay. So down here, consecutive interior, we said inside the parallel lines, and consecutive means what? Same side. So when we write this definition though, we're going to say the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 5 equals 180 degrees. And I know it's the measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 6 is also equal to 180 degrees. Okay? And my black sweater. Does that make sense? Other fun. Everything else is congruent except consecutive interior. Alright? Yeah. Our examples are going to be a little bit of building blocks. Remember when I told you that things you're going to have to use and it's not going to be very straightforward? Yes, I'm going to show you that right now in our 2 examples. You ready? Okay? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do our 2 examples. Now, that is not a straight line, and I use ruler. That's horrible. Make it.
Oh.
Lord help me. Okay, let's pretend that's straight. Now, let's do our 3 examples. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in IM2, yes? We are not in first grade. We are not in second grade. When we show adding and subtracting, we're going to actually show what we're doing. Because I'm looking for the IM2 part of it. Do you understand? I'm not looking for the first grade that you can just subtract 2 numbers. Do you understand? I'm looking for the IM2 part, and what I mean by that is I'm gonna show you right now. So, let's draw a picture. That's 115 degrees. This is x plus 5 meters. You good? Okay. For us to start, it's probably easiest right now if you go label 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because then you know what goes with what. Yes. 1 x plus 5 degrees. So go label 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'll do it really small. Just so you see. Good? Alright. Now, did I write anything on the other side about angle 1 and angle 6? Cool. Are they alternate interior? Are they consecutive interior? Are they alternate exterior? Are they corresponding? Do I know anything about angle 1 and angle 6 together? No. So here's where I have to use my something else. You understand? So I'm looking at the problem and I'm deciding, well, I know angle 1 and I know angle 6. They don't have anything in common, but I need to find something that goes with angle 6. Because angle 6 is the one I'm solving, right? Not 6, it's 6. So that's the one I'm solving. So what can I do with angle 1 to find something by angle 6? Can't do that yet. Because you need to be able to show me why you're doing that. So is there another angle that's corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior, consecutive? 5. What do you know about angle 1 and angle 5? They're the same. Why? They're corresponding angles, right? So we're going to write that. We're going to say that angle 1 is congruent to angle 5 because they're corresponding angles. You see how this is the IM2 part of it? Okay? You need to tell me, you can tell me they're congruent, but therefore you need to tell me why. You understand? Are we okay there?
Yes.
Okay. Since I know that angle 1 is congruent to angle 5, then I know the measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 5. And you've seen this notation before in IM1. And it just means the measure of that angle. So how much is that angle? Well, what's the measure of angle 1? Okay. So I know that the measure of angle 5 is equal to 115 degrees. Yeah? Make sense? Okay. Now what? Now what do you know about the measure of angle 5 and the measure of angle 6? They add it to 180. Why? So it's called a what? Linear pair. So it's a linear pair. It is a line, but I need to know that the name of it is a linear pair. Okay? So now I'm going to say that the measure of angle 5 plus the measure of angle 6 adds up to 180 degrees because it's a linear pair. Got it? Does that make sense? Okay. Now, what do I know? Well, what's the measure of angle 5? Okay, so put it here. Plus, do I know the measure of angle 6? Yeah, it's x plus 5. And it's equal to what? 180. Now what? Yeah. So what am I guessing? You want to add first? So x plus 120 equals 180? And so what does 120? X equals what? Now I don't put degrees because x is a value. If I was asking for the angle, then you would tell me it's what? There's not 60 degrees, it's what? It's 65 degrees, because don't forget it has the plus 5. But I'm asking for the value of x, the value of x is just 60. Do we understand? Could I have gone about this a different way? Yeah, I could have. In second period, they said, well, I know that 115 and angle 2 add up to 180. So it's 65. And then I know that angle 2 and angle 4 are congruent. And then they said an equal 2 times. Do you understand? Does it matter? No. Are you going to solve it a different way than this one? No. Possibly.
So as long as you justify it.
Yeah. As long as you justify along the way, and then yes, you'll have the same answer as me. Okay? But their work was different. This is their work. So they told me that 1 and 2 were a linear pair. So we solved for that. Then we plugged it in, knowing corresponding angles, and we got it. Is it the same thing? Yeah. My answer's still 60 in the end? Yes. Okay? Could I have done it a different way? Yeah. I could have said angle 1 and angle 4 are vertical angles, and angle 4 and angle 6 add up to 180. You see? There's different ways. Alright. Next one. You're going to try it by yourself, and yeah, you may solve it differently than your neighbor. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to tell you the measure of angle 3 is 68 degrees. I'm going to tell you the measure of angle 8 equals 2x plus 4 degrees. What is that? I'll make that. You can talk to someone next to you, see if you get stuff, you want to check, and then you're going about it and you think you're lost. Check it for money. Alright, ready?
Yeah.
Someone tell me what you did. It could be different from someone else. You wrote it inside so you knew where you were? Okay. Okay, so he said this is 68 degrees, and then you said this is 2x plus 4 degrees. Why? Can't do that because I can't say it yet. You have to justify it.
I added the 4.
Which one? 3 and 4. Okay. You said 3 and 4 are linear pair. What did you say? Okay. Did everyone do corresponding angle? First? Good. Okay, so you said that 3 and 7 were corresponding, and then you said 7 and 8 were linear pairs. Okay, that's right.
You can do the same thing over and over.
Does it work that way?
So what I just did for example A, I can do again for example.
Does it work that way?
Yeah.
It does work that way.
Okay, then it works.
Oh, that's what I did.
So I'm gonna do opposite so I can see it differently, okay? So I'm gonna do what Antonio was saying. I literally had Sarah use those things. Alright, so what I'm gonna say is I'm gonna say that angle 3 and angle 4 are linear pairs, correct? So then I can say the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 4 adds up to being 180. Yes? Okay. And I know the measure of angle 3 is 68 degrees. Now you could have done it differently, you're perfectly fine. I just want to solve it differently this time. Okay? So now I can subtract and say the measure of angle 4 is how much? 140. Right? Then he probably said that angle 4 and angle 8 are what? Angle 4 is congruent to angle 8. Why is angle 4 congruent to angle 8? Because they're what? They're corresponding. Well, what's angle 4? So I have the measure of angle 4 equals the measure of angle 8. Well, what's the measure of angle 4? 112 equals 2x plus 4. And when I subtract, what do I get? 108 equals 2x, so x equals what? 54? Either way I solved it, I got it the same.
That's a long way.
The same thing. It doesn't matter. Could I have done something different? I could have. I could have used 3 and 1. I could have said that this was a linear pair and 1 and 8 are alternate exterior angles. You understand? Doesn't matter how you do it. I just wanted to word it like that. Okay, we good? Alright, it's summary, huh?